Hello Bloomington, I'm Mayor Tim Busse, and this is the Council Minute for the week of April 29th. On Monday, Chief Yuli Seal gave the Council an update on the Bloomington Fire Department. As I'm sure you all know, our Bloomington Fire Department is transitioning to a full-time, part-time model. Bloomington Fire served this community admirably for decades, using primarily a volunteer model, but in recent years it became absolutely clear that a city of 91,000 residents, that is the leading hub of hospitality in the Twin Cities and home to many large employers, requires a full-time, part-time fire department to meet the public safety needs of this community. That's why the city's been investing in new fire stations and hiring full-time firefighters. We're about 2 years into this transition, and Chief Seal began his remarks by complimenting how well Bloomington firefighters have adapted and adjusted to this significant cultural and structural change going on in the department. And frankly, I couldn't agree more. Everybody agreed that changes were necessary, but that didn't mean they were going to be easy. So hats off to the men and women in our fire department who have tackled this challenge head on and are making it work. At the same time, Chief Seal acknowledged there's still work to do. From a staffing perspective, 4 of Bloomington's 6 fire stations are now staffed with a combination of career and part-time firefighters. The other 2 stations aren't staffed with full-timers, but the call goes out to part-time firefighters assigned to those stations when something big happens, like a structure fire. Staffing these 4 stations 24/7 has improved the response times and has reduced the number of times trucks have responded with too few firefighters aboard or that weren't able to respond at all. Those 2 things, response time and the number of firefighters who respond, are the most important metrics that the department uses to measure its performance. The new staffing model has shown improvements, but the results are mixed. The response time goal is that 90% of the time, the first truck will arrive at a scene within 7 minutes and 30 seconds of the 911 call. In 2023, that 90% time was actually 11 minutes and 30 seconds. So far this year in 2024, that 90% time has been reduced to 9 minutes 37 seconds. Definitely an improvement, but not quite to the standard Bloomington Fire should meet. The goal for the number of firefighters is that 90% of the time, 15 firefighters will be on site for a significant issue like a structure fire within 11 minutes and 30 seconds of the 911 call. That goal is still proving to be a challenge. In 2023, Bloomington Fire responded to 25 structure fires, and 21 times that standard wasn't met. So far this year, they have responded to 11 structure fires, and 10 times that standard wasn't met. Now, I want to make it entirely clear. Coming up short in both of these metrics comes down to the lack of bodies. It's not a lack of effort or training or desire. Very simply, it's a lack of personnel. Like many fire departments across Minnesota and across the country, the Bloomington Fire Department is understaffed and has been for years. That's why we're making the change to a full-time, part-time model. But we're doing it incrementally and over a number of years in an effort to control the costs. So while I have no doubt that Bloomington Fire will eventually reach their performance goals, it's going to take some time. And this is important for a couple of reasons. The most obvious is that a fast response time with a certain number of firefighters is optimal for public safety. But the other reason is related to something called the Insurance Service Office rating, which is probably something you didn't even know existed. The Insurance Service Office, or ISO, is a private company that rates and scores how prepared a community is for structure fires. The ratings focus on things like the quality of the fire dispatch operation, the water system, the fire prevention efforts, and ultimately, the fire department's performance on things like response time and number of firefighters responding. The ISO provides the ratings to insurance companies, and oftentimes, home fire insurance premiums are tied to ISO ratings. So if your insurance carrier uses ISO ratings, it's not uncommon to see a change in your fire insurance cost if the ratings go up or down as part of the evaluation. Rating reviews happen on a regular basis, and Bloomington Fire is scheduled to be rated in June. The expectation is that the rating will not be as good as the rating the department received 7 years ago. This will be due to our staffing issues and our ability to get an adequate number of firefighters to a structure fire in an acceptable time. Other measures, like our dispatch service or our fire prevention efforts, they're in good shape. But again, it comes down to a number of bodies. A department's ISO rating is only one of several factors that an insurance company might use to determine rates, but it's entirely possible that some Bloomington residents might see an increase in their fire insurance rates. I am proud of how the fire department leadership, city staff, and the city council have worked together to chart a prudent and manageable path forward to create a full-time, part-time staffing model. I'm also very appreciative of the overwhelming support that Bloomington residents have shown. This is a big commitment by this community, and I firmly believe it's the right decision. We'll continue to provide updates and bring everyone along as this journey continues. And finally today, the website livability.com clearly got the message that Bloomington is an enduring and remarkable community where people want to be. This week, we learned that Livability published its top 100 best places to live in the U.S. list, and for the second year in a row, Bloomington cracked the top 25. Bloomington came in at number 21, which was the highest among the 4 Minnesota cities that made the list. The others were Rochester, Duluth, and St. Paul. I'll also note we were the highest of the 3 Bloomingtons on the list, ahead of Bloomington, Illinois, and Bloomington, Indiana. The article called Bloomington, Minnesota, a vibrant community with great schools and a good balance of city convenience and natural beauty. Livability also cited the city's strong economy, low crime rate, top-notch schools, outdoor activities, and healthcare facilities as contributors to Bloomington residents' high-quality, well-rounded lifestyle. Now, we've all seen these types of rankings online for everything from the most livable cities to the top 5 guitarists in rock and roll history, which, by the way, are Chuck Berry, Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, let's go Eddie Van Halen, and I'll let you decide between B.B. King and Jeff Beck. As a rule, we take them for what they're worth. But livability.com specifically focuses on what makes small to medium-sized cities great places to live. For this ranking, they looked at cities with populations between 75,000 and 500,000. Livability considers that size to be the sweet spot in size for residents to get plugged in, find their people, and feel at home fast. The website also makes it clear that affordability is one of the biggest benefits of living in a smaller city. That's why they only considered cities with a median home value of $500,000 or less. They also analyze average rent and home prices relative to income in each city, as well as other factors that influence the cost of living. They really emphasize affordability, which is something we also emphasize here in Bloomington. The bottom line is that it's nice to get recognition for the work this community is doing to being welcoming, vibrant, inclusive, and affordable. In short, a place where people want to be. That will do it for this week's Council Minute. Thanks for joining me today. Until next time, stay safe, Bloomington.